Plenty of real estate investors have made the move from traditional leasing to Airbnb, but this move may not be right for everyone. There are a variety of risks, costs, and rewards that come with using this platform. Airbnb has been the poster child for disruptive innovation since it was founded in 2008. The online marketplace has made it easier for many property owners to rent out spare rooms and make some extra money when long-term tenants are nowhere to be found. In this video, not only are we going to give you a beginner's guide to investing in Airbnb real estate, but we'll give you the pros and cons of using Airbnb to lease rental properties and whether or not this is the best strategy for you. In return, we ask that you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button for more powerful real estate content. We post videos every week about every aspect of investing in real estate, so turn on the post notifications so you don't miss out. Today, 2 million people stay in an Airbnb on any given night. Now that services like Airbnb have popularized independent short-term rentals, old-fashioned renting may not be the model that offers the greatest profit potential. If you're interested in working with Airbnb, you'll need to do your homework to make sure the work is worthy of your time, money, and energy. There are plenty of pros and cons to listing an Airbnb real estate investment. Weigh them equally before you make the move. First and foremost, by far one of the most important steps in becoming an Airbnb host, create a competitive listing for your short-term rental. The work you put into prepping your short-term rental will be in vain if you don't advertise it effectively. There are 3 things in particular your listing should include to make it stand out to prospective guests. Number 1 is a detailed description. A vague description is a red flag in the eyes of most prospective guests. Write a description that's detailed and honest, but don't be afraid to focus on your rental's best features. After all, the description is your chance to sell people on your property. Number 2, add a complete list of amenities. While you should mention at least a few of your rental's most impressive amenities in the description, including a comprehensive list of everything it offers elsewhere in the listing is also important. Not only will this list help set appropriate expectations for guests, it can also generate additional bookings. Since some prospective guests will skim through the description, your amenities list is a second chance at catching readers' attention, so list your rental's amenities to avoid missed booking opportunities. Number 3, you must have a set of high-quality photos. Don't skimp on rental properties' photographs. Listings with low-quality photos tend to perform poorly on sites like Airbnb, and it's pretty easy to understand why. Think about it, would you seriously consider staying in a short-term rental without being able to see what it really looks like? If you need help shooting great photos of your rental, Airbnb offers a professional photography service you can utilize as well. Now let's review some of the pros and cons of Airbnb investing. The first pro, the potential to make more money. Let's say you have a property in Austin where renting out a 2-bedroom house could generate up to $2,500 each month. Renting out that entire home on Airbnb could easily net between $70 and $200 each night. It could take less than 2 weeks to make $2,500 from an Airbnb listing. That kind of math is what draws many real estate investors to the platform. They don't have to fill up their property with guests every day of the month to make more money than they would with long-term renters. One of the cons of Airbnb investing is more maintenance. Of course, there is more to renting out an Airbnb than sitting back and watching the money roll in. After each stay, which could be 1 or 2 nights, you'll need to clean the property to return it to a state ready for new guests. Before each stay, you'll also have to field questions from guests, ranging from instructions on how to enter the property, to where to park, or to how to activate and deactivate an alarm system, among others. You'll also need to stay up to date on any events going on in your area to make the most of seasonal pricing and then reset prices after those dates to keep your rates competitive. Overall, Airbnb requires a more hands-on approach compared to renting out a space to long-term tenants. Another pro is you don't have to buy property to get started. You can start earning money off a property that you don't own by renting it out on Airbnb. If you search online, you'll see dozens of videos from investors who leased or rented out a property and with the owner's permission, then rented out the property on Airbnb. These owners typically have multiple properties and just need someone to fill it with tenants, making them primed to work with Airbnb. There are plenty of monthly expenses that comes with the plan. First and foremost, you'll likely have to pay the owner some sort of rent or monthly fee for using their property. Most owners will also want to know that you are regularly cleaning the place and have proper insurance. If you can consistently fill the property with tenants though, you'll be able to recover all of those expenses before the month is over. A con in doing this is going to be more expenses. Even if you own a property you list on Airbnb, you may find yourself spending more than you would on a property with long-term renters. Tenants bring their own linens, toiletries, and cleaning supplies. Airbnb guests don't. Tenants may be willing or required to pay for utilities and Wi-Fi, but Airbnb guests won't. And heaven forbid the property doesn't have Wi-Fi. Some Airbnb owners even make food, beverages, and other amenities available upon arrival to create a more memorable experience for guests. If you're not budgeting for these expenses on top of professional cleaning services and insurance, you might be surprised at the end of the month by the amount you've spent on creating a top-notch guest experience. Another great pro of Airbnb investing is that bad tenants come and go. Enforcing a 3 or 7 night minimum stay can help to reduce cost of preparing your Airbnb for new guests. Even if you decide to go this route, your tenants will most likely be short-term guests, as the average Airbnb stay is less than 1 week. While this may create some inconsistent cash flow, it can also reduce the risk of having bad tenants staying in your property long-term. Even if a tenant complains or has loud parties, you won't have to worry about them being late with rent payments or running down the property until their lease expires. If you're particularly worried about bad tenants, you can always review a guest profile and ratings before you let them book. One of the cons of this strategy is bad reviews can make or break a guest's decision. A single bad Airbnb review could make potential guests hesitate before booking with you, especially in a highly saturated market. Fortunately, Airbnb has a double-blind system that requires both guests and hosts to leave a review before they can see what the other party had to say. If there is a dispute, both parties can communicate before any final reviews go public. The website gives hosts 2 weeks to complete this process. If ignored, the review will automatically go up on Airbnb for future guests to see. If you don't stay on top of reviews, a bad one may make its way onto your listing, but with proper maintenance of your listing, both online and offline, you can bounce back from a single bad review within a few weeks. There's a lot to consider before you put your property on Airbnb. Reach out to a local legal services provider to discuss potential issues with listing your property on Airbnb in your city. When it comes to Airbnb, a word of caution on short-term rentals. As with any investment strategy, hosting short-term rentals carries certain risks. Property damage is one of these risks, but it really shouldn't be your primary concern. There is one thing in particular that has the potential to cut off your short-term rentals cash flow completely, and that's restrictive legislation. Airbnb and other services that advertise homes and apartments as short-term rentals are relatively new. Lawmakers still aren't entirely sure how to handle them. In some cities, new laws are making it extremely difficult for property owners to profit with sites like Airbnb. Last year, for instance, New York banned property owners from advertising short-term rentals on Airbnb. But fortunately for the majority of short-term rental hosts, most cities are still taking a supportive stance on services like Airbnb. Regardless, before seriously pursuing a strategy for short-term rentals, you need to be aware that this may change in the near future. We hope you found this video valuable. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button for more powerful real estate content. We've also made an entire playlist for any beginners looking to get started investing in real estate. Definitely check those videos out as well. And then with that said, we'll see you guys in the next video.